Hey, what's up, everyone? How's it going? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to DBD League Winter Circuit. This is week 3, I believe, day 2. It's going to be super exciting. We have some winners bracket matches coming to you today that are going to determine who gets into winners finals next week. So that's going to be really fun. We also have some losers matches. So unfortunately, got to say goodbye to a few people, a few other teams this weekend. However, all the matches have been crazy up until this point. We're going to take a look at winners bracket today, but before that, I'm ssbkid, joined by Rayoxium. How's it going? How are you? Are you ready for some awesome matches coming to us today?
Well, hello everybody. I am very, very excited because today we are starting off with some interesting sets. We've got Calamity versus Night Owls, and our sets are Nurse on Groaning Storehouse 2, Plague on Torment Creek, and a tiebreaker Oni on Dead Dog Saloon. Now, I'm very excited for this Nurse set. I love seeing her on Groaning Storehouse 2. I love seeing the new maps, and also that was the Calamity picks. We're going to see some Laser Nurse. Kid, what do you think about that?
Yeah, Laser Nurse is going to be pretty interesting to say the very least. Obviously, if you want to play competitive, if you want to play top level competitive, you have to have a good grasp on all the killers. Obviously, the S tiers, having someone who can pilot them is also really important because of their ability to just take over games and kind of cement you some wins. However, I am surprised to see the Nurse active, just knowing how formidable the Laser Nurse could truly be. But hey, maybe these survivors are super confident that they might be able to steal this game from underneath them, like you said. That's going to be really fun to watch, to say the very least. I feel like obviously, these chases hypothetically won't last a whole while. It kind of just depends on how much time can you buy for your team and what exactly are you doing with said time. But obviously, we've seen a couple clips here and there of even comp nurses getting juiced. So obviously, that kind of can kind of go up either way, but regardless, it's going to be really fun to watch. What do you think of like the map specifically on Nurse? I know we talked about it before we went live, how much you kind of like this map specifically on Nurse. I don't know if you have like any like takes on that.
I just love seeing the new Macmillan maps used in comp. They're very interesting to me. They seem to be incredibly dense with a lot more structures and just smaller maps in general. And I really like seeing how new teams navigate it as well, seeing how quickly they can adapt to these new environments. Because in comp, we've kind of stuck with the same maps for a very, very long time. Nurse Cold Tower, all those um, all those other maps that we just use over and over. So it's really fun to see teams quickly just adapt to the new maps and see their different strategies, see the RNG factors, and see what behavior made with these newer maps. Like maybe trying not to get tighter 3 gens and all that lovely stuff. So I'm just really excited to see how these teams play on this today.
Yeah, I feel like just the fact that I'm not really complaining because I thought like having like a more central map on most killers was good for me as like an entry level like comp like enjoyer. But I will say it is nice to see the change of scenery and like you said, just a lot of great maps, a lot of more map variations. So yeah, you're absolutely right on that. And then set 2 is gonna be nice. I think I got to watch a little bit of Plague on Torment Creek last week, so that was pretty fun too. That one's gonna be a little bit interesting. Obviously, Coldman Farms can be notoriously pretty good for some survivors, but obviously in competitive, that's a whole different story. So I'm actually curious. Some of the maps I feel like on Coldwind can be a little bit large for killers to traverse. So plagues I saw last week specifically. I forget who was playing last week, but we saw specifically like having a pool next to the hook and waiting a few seconds and then ingesting like corrupt purge to like confirm a stage or confirm a sacrifice as well. So that's going to be interesting to see that methodical gameplay from Plague as well. That's just kind of, I feel like, what might be what I'm probably used to seeing at this point. But that one's going to be really fun too. Obviously, that was, if I'm not mistaken, that was Night Owl's pick, so that's going to be really cool to see.
hmm And Torment Creek is, I would say, one of the better Cold Wind farm maps now after their nerfs. Poor Cowshed probably doesn't even stand a chance. So Torment Creek is still fairly large, and it has a lot more RNG factors, I would say. These Cold Wind farm maps sometimes spawn tiles, sometimes they don't. So we'll have to see what kind of map layout we have today. It is fairly large, a little bit harder to control, but Plague is one of those killers that you tend to put on bigger maps. She's incredibly good at just macro, peeking on gens, holding down 3 gens if she can actually get to that point. So I'm very excited to see what Calamity and Night Owls are going to do with that set. It's very interesting, and I love watching play games just for that macro control. And then we also have our last set, which I really do enjoy as well, which is Oni on Dead Dog Saloon. What do you think about that map?
Oni on Dead Dog is actually insane. I feel like we last week as well, not to sound like a broken record, I feel like last week we saw a ton of Oni on Dead Dog. That honestly, I feel like is a really interesting but also very nice change. Just because I feel like maybe it's like a placebo effect because of how compact everything can be. I feel like the map is just like it feels really small, but obviously like it might just be way more compact and maybe the dead zones are a little bit there's like more dead zones, but it's really cool to see how these survivors play against Oni on this map. I feel like I see like way more pre-drops, I see way more zoning to delay that first hit because on this map point A to point B, that distance is very, very short against the Oni. So you want to delay that hit as long as possible to avoid getting that power build up. And we see two different playstyles against Oni. We see, if I'm not mistaken, I saw X9 versus Aeternum, and we saw Aeternum play a way more methodical, like slow the game down approach where they were instant resetting each other, just denying that power to the killer. But then we saw, a little bit of a change of pace where they were willing to play through the match injured, understanding that they were going to get power more often, but that they were able to make those moments count regardless. So I'm actually interested to see what the thought process is going to be when approaching that Oni, if we get to that point to begin with. So that one's going to be really cool. I think that like aspect of playing way more passively or way more aggressively is actually really cool to see. I feel like on Oni it could be one of those situations where like that play style like can make or break your team.
Mm-hmm. We'll have to see what the survivors do against Oni on that map. I love Dead Dog. I think it's incredibly unique. It has some dense filler palettes by Gallows, and then you've got some safe palettes. Of course, you've got Shack, and then across the map, you've got those really weird jungle gyms that have incredibly random RNG. And then you've got the water tower, of course, where that can connect to a jungle gym next to it. And then you've got like Painful Main that usually people bring Bamboozle for. I just love watching games happen on there, and I would love to see getting to a tiebreaker just because I love casting and I want to be here as long as possible.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Just like getting to be here has been really fun. Obviously, like this is not it's not what I do like full. I don't get to do this a whole lot. I think like before last week, the last time I was with DBDL was like back in like September, maybe if not, maybe even before that. So I'm actually really excited to get to be here again. Back to back weekends, I feel like is like a little bit of a rarity for me, but thankfully things were able to work out to where I could be here. So yeah, casting is definitely super fun. Being with everyone, tuning in, and all the staff and all the players that get to all be a part of this is pretty cool. Obviously, a few weeks ago it was announced that like Behavior dropped a bunch of Eerie shards as a prize pool, which I think is also really really cool. Definitely step in the right direction. But before we go to a break, I mean, I feel like this set is going to be one for the books for sure. I'm not really too sure who we're going to see victorious. Maybe I think we might be able to see potentially Night Owls come in clutch as well. But Calamity also, is also like they're both like very formidable teams. But
Hmm.
honestly, because I got to work with the Rats on the analyst desk, I'm just gonna cheer for Rats' team. So Night Owl's gonna take it. What do you think though?
All right. Well, if you're gonna cheer for Night Owls, I'll cheer for Calamity. I guess we gotta get one for one here.
Yeah, we have no allegiance, as you guys can tell, but yeah, it's gonna be super great to watch. It's gonna be such an awesome first match to start off the day. Obviously, if you're tuning in for the first time, we have 4 different matches today, so this is gonna be the first one. But feel free to stick around for all of them. But before we get to the first match, we are going to take a short break. We're going to be right back with the nurse with Calamity versus Night Owls. Stay tuned.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back for our first matchup of today in DBDLeague. We have Calamity versus Night Owls, and we have Laser on the Nurse. I'm very excited. It has been so long since I've seen a Laser Nurse matchup, usually because whenever anybody gets paired against Calamity, that's their first ban. How are you thinking, SSB? How do you think this match is going to go?
Absolutely, like you said, we're here. New version of Macmillan against the Laser Nurse. That hit right there. The add-ons we're already going to take a look at for sure. The undetectable add-on right there after you get that hit. So that's going to be really nice to see. Maybe try to get some check spots. And there's the first down onto Rushi. That one's going to be one for sure. But I will say, before we saw, I mean, I was about to make a point, and then Laser was just like, let me get this down real quick. But yeah, I feel like you said, most people ban against Laser, so they ban Nurse against Laser. So the fact that we see the Nurse come out right now, it just shows like the confidence that these survivors have against Laser, against the Nurse in particular. But Laser showing that he's just picking up right where he left off right there, regardless.
Whether it's bravery or ignorance, we finally get to have a Nurse Laser set, and we see his add-on on the left there, which is I don't remember the name of it, but when you hit a blink hit, you become undetectable, which is a very interesting choice to see in Nurse games as well, because she screams whenever she blinks, but I have seen it catch out survivors a few times whenever the undetectable happens. I know that we're all in voice comms, so everybody might not think that it is that important, but it can give you just that little bit extra distance to get onto a survivor. Ooh, we already have a Nancy here as well, setting up for the pull, trying to get a little bit of deli. At least it is a trade, though. Woo, yep, there we go. We're going to knock her down. She also has Calm Spirit. That's actually hilarious because I think it still works against spies from the shadows. What Laser here is finding out. We are still going to go for the tunnel, though. We have Nancy on the ground with Unbreakable. She's going to pick herself up, try to get as much pressure as she can, but this Nia is going to go down pretty early. We're going to try to get a tunnel out. We have a second potential hook at 5 gens. 4 gens, Casta cursed it, but she's not the one with Decisive Strike, so this tunnel out is going to be crucial to how the rest of this game is going to be played out.
Absolutely, I feel like Laser's just going to probably confirm this death right here onto Arushi, play a little bit more defensively towards the hook, obviously still scout out some survivors. Like you said though, the undetectable add-on can prove to be, not that good against players that have communications, that have comms. But I feel like with Nurse, one of the big things that you're doing is breaking line of sight. So that undetectable add-on might actually be able to help Laser get around certain tiles, get around certain, might be able to walk people down way more effectively. Also, like we saw Urushi die in the corner right there. We actually were able to see him, go to the corner, but then, kind of ended up running right into the Nurse as opposed to, playing around the rock, trying to delay that hit a little bit longer. But Laser right now trying to scout out the next person coming in to try to take this save right there. Like you said, Rat's able to pick themselves up. I'm not sure if they were able to use their Unbreakable or if it was someone coming in and just, tapping them to get up real quick. But regardless, we see Laser very, very much willing to confirm the sacrifice right here. Are we going to see it?
Ooh,
and it looks like we're going to get it.
Close. So close to just body blocking and dying on hook. You see that a lot more often now that hook grabs are gone. Killers are trying to buy as much time, possibly trying to get a survivor to die on the hook. But another fantastic blink from Laser, just reading the survivor movements. Although, are we going to get a flashbang save? A flashlight? No, it looks like Nancy wanted to go for it, but is unable. That means that the first death is happening at 4 gens. This is why Laser Nurse is so dangerous. He's doing a fantastic job of blinking right on top of them. The survivor's able to just get about 2 generators done, and we still have 1 slugged survivor that we know isn't the Unbreakable. So he just is sitting in an incredible spot with the 3 gen at main, this Claudette being hooked right in the middle of it that doesn't have deliverance. This is not spelling good for the survivors.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that just the fact that we saw that that entire situation right there. You know, maybe Laser was waiting a little bit on the pickup just to see if we could get these survivors to get off of objectives and try to come get the pickup. But they're very much intent on letting counter raid sit on the hook, actually get hooked. And honestly, just because we have that death so early, I feel like you have to kind of just let them sit on hook for a little bit, just because you really need that pressure, right? You know, at this point, you have to set the win condition as best as you can right now. But Winter already on the chase right here against Laser. Are we gonna get the commitment? Yes, we are, and we are going to get the swing around the rock as well. And this is a situation where you don't want to be against Nurse. You get that one down. She has the mobility to go from point A to point B just to confirm the person on the hook and the 2 slug to get this dub right here.
Those are some incredible finds by Laser, able to just like read where these survivors are. That was some incredible macro from this killer. Getting to a 4K3, that's exactly why you do not mess with the Laser Nurse. That is exciting to see. We do still have Deliverance in play, but it seems that Laser knows exactly who it's on, because he's deciding to hook this survivor first and waiting for them to all die before he goes for the Nancy. It could be very easy to read just because the Nancy did die for that first unhook. She's going to try to crawl maybe closer to hatch, so whenever everybody else dies, she just gets the time. But now it's kind of cemented that this is going to be a 4K3, whether or not Nancy gets out their hatch. That is an incredibly hard win con to beat for Night Owls.
Absolutely. I mean, 4K3 is kind of one of those situations where, you know, again, the cool thing about DBDLeague is all these builds are predetermined, right? So we don't have people switching builds around last second to play for win conditions. But the fact that, you know, 4K3 is one of the situations where you're very much willing to let 1 or 2 people die on hook if you just slam those gens. So that's going to be like the survivor playstyle change that we're going to get is actually going to be really interesting to see. But like you said, you know, Laser willing to let Rats just, you know, kind of slug on the floor just a little bit, understanding that, you know, you haven't seen a Deliverance play, obviously. So, you know, you want to just end the game right now. And that Unbreakable is also very much long gone, which is why you don't see Rats get up as well. So, yeah, this was a masterclass from Laser, and like you said, this is why you ban him. You know, if you go back and watch the tapes, you know, go back and watch film at practice, you know, next week it's gonna be like, all right, so we're banning against Laser next time, right?
Yes, indeed. And we just had some incredible macro decisions, not even just Nurse incredible blinks. He was able to find those survivors going for the rotation. He was able to find Nancy being stealthed, being surprised that her teammate went down in that spot. It was just incredible finds, and we're going to get the hook right here. That means that Deliverance will be cooked, and we have a 4K3 confirmed for Calamity. That means that in order to beat this set, all they have to do is just pop 3 generators next game. And like you said, it changes the playstyle of the survivors. They could just have somebody get an incredibly okay chase the first time and then just sit on the hook, and the Nurse can't even camp it. She has to go back and she has to pressure the gens, because if they sit on it, then just 3 gens pop.
Absolutely. And just the fact that when that happens, and you know, you create that bounce around from the hook, regardless, the survivors end up winning that war of attrition anyways, which then means you have to tunnel someone out to stop those, you know, those hook exchanges. But then when you do that, that's time wasted that everyone else slams gens for. So obviously it's a really tough situation. We're gonna have to see near perfect gameplay, you know, this time around from Nurse in order to just be able to meet the win, match the win condition, or even beat it. But it's gonna be a really tough order. It's gonna be a really tall order. But we are going to see an attempt being made at that right after this break. Yo, welcome back everyone. The stage is set for this Nurse set. It's very simple. Rats has to 4K this team before 3 generators pop. It might be too tall of an order, but Rats right now already starting this chase on the Laser without even using the blinks as well. So can you find right here the commitment? No, gonna hold on to that blink a little bit. Laser already giving us a good chase to start off with. This is what we talked about earlier. If you can get that first chase to last just a little bit longer than usual, you might be able to confirm, but unfortunately right there, that might have been Laser standing right right where Rats wanted to teleport. So this is right here. Again, another miss as well. Oh my goodness. This is exactly what we were talking about earlier before the break. If you can get that first chase to last just a little bit longer. And yeah, Rats is just going to walk Laser down. Okay, there's the down. Okay. I was about to say, please, not another one.
A very, very good chase here from Laser. Unfortunately, you will eventually go down because this is the Nurse and S tier killer. And we also see that this survivor hooked right here is the Deliverance. So that means that a very important perk is not going to be in play this game. However, I'm not sure if Calamity really even minds because they have a pretty good win condition that they can work forwards to. They are definitely going to be continuing to play it smart. We already have 2 generators that have some pretty sizable progress on it. We are seeing in our build, we have Spies from the Shadows and Infectious Fright, 2 Finding People perk. Now, like we said earlier, you are supposed to submit your builds before this game starts. So it might have been that this nurse knew that she was going to want to play aggressive. Ooh, goes for a swing there, but is not able to connect. We are finding another survivor over here and a generator with progress. She's probably going to stop to take a pop charge right onto that and go right back to hook. Because tunneling still is an incredible strategy, even if you do have to prevent another generator from popping, even just a tie. So we are going to try to sniff out Laser. We have Spies from the Shadows. Unfortunately, we also saw that Laser had Calm Spirit, which makes it so that Spies from the Shadows is not going to be able to find him. He's probably stealthing somewhere in that corner. We're instead going to try to take the ace over here who has Lucky Break, a little bit harder to try to find, but Spies from the Shadows making it just a tiny bit easier. However, that means that we don't get to find our tunnel out. So Calamity playing this very good, very slow. They're going to get this win, whether the survivors want to or not. Sorry, the killer wants to or not.
Yeah, absolutely. Gonna find that down right there onto Lactrin. Like you said, it's gonna be really hard to get that tunnel onto Laser just because of the Calm Spirit. And also that also counters Infectious Fright too. So if once Laser is fully healed and they're in a corner, kind of relaxing a little bit, and you see that down come on, you're not gonna hear Laser scream. So that's actually gonna be really valuable. And Laser already starting on this gen right here, a little bit of progress, right? So Hein obviously, kind of stealthing around. But Rats just, not even going to start that chase, going to try to put some pressure, put a little bit of slowdown onto this gen that Laser might be working on with Pop Goes the Weasel. Obviously, Pedro, you haven't seen him at all either. So, that's another person unaccounted for. So, the pressure that is just being provided right now is going to be might be a little bit too much for Rats right here. Gets stuffed out right there with the second blink, not able to make it fast and far enough. And here comes the cutoff right there, and Laser understanding. I mean, when you play Nurse at the level that Laser does, you got to understand how to survive against them, and survive he did just long enough to get that last generator done to meet the win condition right here, and gonna get the down right there. But yeah, that is going to already be the first killer set.
Unfortunately for this nurse, it was a little bit of a steep win con. She did try her best, but Calamity survivors getting the 3 generators done. We do have Laser here on Death Hook and no Decisive Strike, so that will be a tunnel out if they so choose. Ooh, and another good find. We see this young Jin trying to come in for the save, but she is not able to get there. She is the Will Make It Decisive Strike survivor, so it is good for her to even 1-for-1, hitting it so that the next person who is on the hook will be Decisive Strike, so they can't be tunneled out. Gonna come over here, apply some Pop Goes the Weasel, we'll get some regression. We are still going to be playing out this game, regardless if it's already won or lost already. Just because, we love the practice, we love to play, we love to juke. Actually, the unhook comes in for free, and she's gonna get a Will Make It heal, so she's gonna be fully healed up. That means that there is no tunnel out just yet, although the nurse is chasing Adam away from these gens. Goes for a swing, but is not able to connect just yet. And we do have a sort of 3-gen here at the top side of the map as well. Ooh, we've got 3 survivors over here. Still gets blinded from that firecracker. What? Firecrackers are insane.
You know what? We got to hit up the balancing team for this one right now. I'm not even going to lie. You can firecrack the best killer in the game, even when she's looking up. That's wild. I'm not even going to lie to you. But regardless, like you said, no tunnel out. But here it comes already, already able to find Laser in a difficult situation where he can't necessarily, yeah, that's going to be the down right there. Couldn't find,
really
if Laser could have positioned himself a little bit better in order to have the best pre-first hit chase against Nurse, that might have been able to be enough to just outlast the Rats just a little bit longer. Unfortunately, not going to be able to. Not before a gen pops in the distance, which means, you know, the next gen that gets popped, pop goes to Weasel. Never mind, they're already working on multiple gens, and that's going to be, at the very least, a 2 out at this point.
Calamity survivors showing how great their generator pressure can be. We saw that when Laser was getting killed and hooked, that we saw the auras of 3 survivors just split on generators. Their pressure is very, very good. And even though they have a tunnel out and also one person that is one hooked, they did all of the generators, and now they're going to be splitting. This Nurse is going to try to get the best result possible. She does have Hein here, who is 3 hook states fresh. Although they are around here at Shack, maybe they'll be able to get Hatch. Who knows? Although I'm sure it won't be able to spawn in time. Adam's just hanging around. Oh, trying to take a body block hit against the Nurse, but it does not come through. We'll see if she's able to get him as well. He takes attack. He has overcome. He's running. He's out through the exit gate. And like you predicted, here is the 2 out. Most likely, the Nurse is just going to go back and hook Hein, take the 3 stages. She's not Deliverance. We know that for a fact. Does the Nurse know it? It doesn't matter. The other 2 survivors escape, so she doesn't get it anyway. So that will cement this first set as going to Calamity. Not surprised that it is their pick. And we already know that they have a very strong Nurse player. Very well played to both sides. Amazing blinks. It was really fun to see. We will be taking that moment, though, to get our builds together, to get the teams together, and we will be switching to Plague, which is on Torment Creek, which is also Night Owl's pick, so we'll have to see what they have in store.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, you know, just to kind of touch real quick before we go on break on the point you made earlier about playing the sets out even after the win condition's been met, you got to be in the right headspace, right, for set 2, because the thing is like the next set is your pick regardless, so you have a really good shot of just tying the scores up a little bit, and then with that momentum you can go into set 3. So you have to play these sets out. You have to get your team hype a little bit. If you can find some kills right here, you know, 2 out of obviously not the win condition that we needed to meet, but regardless, still Rats played really well. It was a tough win condition to meet, but we're going to see that Plague set after this break. Don't go anywhere. We have set 2 coming right your way.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the second matchup of this matchup. We have Calamity versus Night Owls, and we are on Night Owl's pick, which is Plague, being played on Torment Creek. We can already see Urushi running around, puking on gens that have not been corrupted, a very classic play style for the Plague. This is my first time actually seeing Plagues being played on Torment Creek. I can't really speak for the results, though, because they can sometimes be 3 stages, they can sometimes be 9. I don't know. We'll have to see what these survivors can do, and what do you think? What are your predictions for this game, SSB?
Yeah, absolutely. This can be a little bit, it can go up in the air sometimes. Like, it really just depends on a few things. One of the big things also is where do you get your pool spawned, right? That also kind of determines what kind of pressure you can take, what kind of situations you have to kind of just let go for sure. And we've talked about it before. 2 apples a day keeps every doctor away. You already see the builds coming in. You also see the stuns. Shoutouts to my boy Q. Gonna get Laction right here infected, though. We're going to get this break right here on the door, maybe just to maybe that'll help us in chase a little bit later. Obviously, you know, you do give Laction a little bit of distance, and these survivors, if you give them an inch, they can give you a mile. So, you know, they can actually make some stuff happen right here. But we are going to see probably just you know, switching onto a different target right here. Pedro already in the chase at Shack right here. Are we gonna get these check spots right with that visibility through the windows at Shack? But no, Urushi is just very content on just, you know, moving on to a different part of the map, continuing to pressure every survivor. No one's safe. You have to be careful here.
And we do get some infection spread. We got Laser over here. We gave him a little bit sick. We also took an M1 as well. We do want to get it down as quick as possible. And the Plague does have Bamboozle, making it so the looping is a little bit easier. Ooh, we do have a drop here on this Jungle Gym pallet, but if we kick it on this side, we're zoning Laser towards the top and away from Shack. We'll have to see if the Plague is able to get this down in a timely manner. That is pretty well played by her so far. Yep, we're going to Bamboozle this window. Laser might not have been expecting it. Trying to play this tile, and a body block hit is coming in, preventing that early down. That is just what these survivors needed. With Plague, as soon as you get somebody on the hook, that does mean that the game is on a countdown, because if she hooks near a Corrupted Purge, it is incredibly hard to save against her. We have 3 survivors infected, working on gens, and we have the last healthy survivor over here. We don't have Thanatophobia, so we're not going to get like a huge buff from that anyway, but we have a seawall here, making it so it's going to be hard to get a full infection. Yep, we're just going to take the tag as well, and now everybody in the trial is injured. Meaning that if we try to find somebody else and we get another tag, that we will get our down. Shack Pallet is gone. Jungle Gym by Shack is gone. We have trimmed the fat on a lot of these loops. It is a lot more empty than it was earlier. We're going to take one of our pools. We did bring double apples, meaning that's 3 pools of corruption that spawn. So this Plague was not messing around. She wanted to get her power. And now she is out and about trying to get another down. I can see the survivors are stealthing a little bit in the mid-map. Ooh, gets a really good Plague puke hit through the LT wall there, and we will be taking our first hook onto Adam.
Yeah, I feel like that down right there with the Corrupt Purge might have been just a result of like just a very small amount of hubris with the light, right? You're able to kind of get around. Obviously, you don't want to cross through the window from Plague's point of view because you can get sniped. Maybe Pedro thinking if I run through with light, I might be able to just like barely miss it. Unfortunately, not able to work out. We do see that pop right there onto that gen by Urushi, and like, yeah, like you said, everyone's injured. Obviously, everyone's just one shot at this point. And you know, if you're tuning in for the first time and like don't really have an idea of like competitive strats, you do not want to cleanse against Plague. Honestly, that's a strat like everyone should take in general, but especially here, right? You want to deny that power for as long as you can. You can counteract that with some apples right here. You're gonna get the vault if you are Hein right here, but one of the windows is bamboozled, so not much room to try to mind game this killer right here, and that's why you see Hein just very intent on leaving the loot. Maybe you can find a filler right here. I'm not really too sure. Yeah, we are gonna find one. Can you get the mind game here? No, you're not. Rushi going to get the down onto Hein. Another down, another pop stack, another pain res. Like you said, if we do see these hooks, these corrupt purges, it makes it that much harder to get the saves. So you got to be careful, but not before survivors pop 1, 2 generators right here. Already 3 total, so not making it easy right now for Urushi.
They are able to get those edge generators fixed, but we do have a couple still around the shack area, the bottom side of the map. We're gonna grab another corrupt purge token there, and we are going to go right back to hook. I mean, everybody is injured, that meaning that they can't 1-for-1 for the save. If they go in, they will go down. This Plague knows it. The survivors know it. We see some birds. We know that there is another survivor over here. If it is somebody that we haven't hooked before, we could still get a Scourge Hook Pain Resonance off of her and get some good slowdown, which is what the Plague is wanting to do. T-posing and puking. She's a little bit buggy with her animations, but that's okay. We still love her. We are going to take this hook. Hopefully, it's a Scourge Hook Pain Resonance. That's what she needs right now. Making our way down to mid-map. I'm sure we had a hook here earlier, that meaning that we could get another stack of Pain Resonance, popping a generator with the most progress. Yep, there we go. That is a 3rd stack used. 3 fresh hooks already. We have a stack of Pop Goes a Weasel as well. We have some incredible regression happening this game. This is exactly what you want to see from a Plague set. I have seen some matches with Plague on Torment Creek, and they do end up sometimes being pretty rough. So this kind of beginning for Plague on this map is pretty good. We do have the save happening onto Laser. That means no more 1-for-1s. We have trimmed the fat of the map. There is basically no pallets on this bottom side except for the cow tree. The Plague doesn't want it. She's gonna instead try to go for this generator over here, not wasting any more time chasing the Claudette. We are going to try to get maybe a 2nd stage on a survivor. It's still very good. Even later in the game to get another tunnel out, that means it's easier to secure a death in the end game as well. Ooh, and we do get the down onto Laser, trying to vault the window here, but there is nothing. Like I said earlier before in matches, Torment Creek is a cool good farm map and sometimes has trouble spawning some fillers, and I'm sure the survivors are feeling it.
Yeah, it feels like, yeah, like you said, it definitely feels like we haven't gotten to see a ton of filler pallets, so it makes it really difficult to deal with sometimes, but that last gen's already going to pop, and this is going to be a situation where do you pressure the gates early, or do you wait until Corrupt Purge runs out a little bit, or do you get the save onto Laser? So many questions that are needed to be answered right now, and we see Urushi very intent on going back to that side of the map. Oh, no.
Oh, that is so unfortunate because Lactrain here is the fresh out as well. We'll have to see if the Plague wants to go for Oh, gets a nice spicy snipe onto Laser with the Plague. We can see exactly why they chose this killer. Oh, we're actually going to go and confirm this stage right here onto Laser, who was on Death Hook, but we will be taking this. Maybe we can cycle around to try to get Ace, who is our 3 freshes. Ooh, he does cleanse. That means we do see where he cleansed at, though, which is most likely over in main, because that's where we last saw him. Although the Plague is trying to come over here. Maybe she thinks that he cleansed over here. Although we see now the Healthy Atom, meaning that he was the one who did cleanse. We still would like to get another survivor, regardless of how many states they have left. We have a little bit of Live coming in. He's not going to be infected all the way. That's so unfortunate. Not able to pull out another stage right there. And we do have Lactrin, who was our 3 stages, escaping through the hatch. So that is an incredible result. Well played by the survivors here.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, Lactrin being the one on Fresh Hook, unfortunately not able to actually go after Lactrin to confirm that 4th Fresh Hook stage right there. So that's gonna be something to note later on in the next game as we get to that 2-gen, 1-gen left. If we can see those Fresh Hooks being confirmed, because that might be the win con that you might have to play for. Obviously, a couple hook stages as well. So you're gonna have to see what the result is right now. So, but. Before we do all that, obviously, we're going to go to a short little break. Stick around, don't go anywhere, just grab a quick drink. We'll be right back with Game 2 of this Plague set. It all comes down to this winner's bracket life on the line potentially right here. We have Marco coming in with the Plague. I feel like we saw the Plague last week as well from Marco specifically. So yeah, this one's gonna be it for sure. 5 stages, 3 hooks, Rayoxium. Is this doable? Can we make this happen? Or 3 fresh hooks, I mean.
Yes, this can be very doable. However, Plague on this map sometimes can get way less stages, but we'll have to see. We are having some very early finds by Marco. That meaning that we are getting some infections, we're getting some injuries pretty early out. That could lead to a pretty quick down, and we are going to grab our correct purge as well. That's exactly what this Plague wants. She wants a down quickly, and she wants it now. She wants this because 6 stages could be achieved by just tunneling and camping 1 survivor out in the very beginning, and then also getting the confirmed death on a survivor in the very late game. We are seeing that Ace is just choosing, instead of looping, to die right underneath the pallet, possibly baiting the Plague into picking up and getting a pallet save. We do see the survivor who is stealth nearby, possibly with sprint burst, meaning she can stealth out just a little bit further. That could be very good and useful for this Plague. However, if the survivor is found out, and we are not taking the pickup just yet. We know exactly what they're planning, meaning that we can also get another injury as well. That's going to be very good for the Plague here. They are able to try to get, we're trying to get a little bit of a puke hit. However, the puke does not travel that quickly. Oh, we are able to get that hit right there instead. Oh, are we going to be able to go down too? That is actually going to be really rough for these survivors. We're going around bring down the Rosie, and we get the down. Oh, no, that's so unlucky. And there's a 3rd survivor here. Here. Everybody's here. We're going to try to get another hit on this Nancy as well. She's doing some really big loops, trying not to get hit. Oh, but she takes a tag, dropping the pallet. That means ultimately this pallet save is not going to happen. This will result in at least 1 survivor being put up on the hook. We do pick up the Ace. It seems like they were really trying hard to not let that survivor die, but we will still be taking this hook at 5 gens, being a paid resonance as well, meaning that 1 generator that 1 survivor was working on just lost a bunch of progress. And we do have Nancy, who is zoned here at main. SSB, what do you think?
Man, this, like you said, I mean, there was, the pallets right there dropped. Sometimes these fillers don't spawn, like you said earlier as well during the first game. So that could be potentially a little bit of a dead zone. Maybe there's another pallet, maybe 2 pallets around here, but that's probably it at this point. So yeah, you got to be really careful. But I think we did see the cross right there. Potentially from the survivors right there. But that 1st gen finally pops, and a little bit of a different, while we have a little bit of a slow situation right here, we do have the end game perk, right? We have No Way Out coming in, so that's going to be potentially, maybe understanding that this will go the distance, and you have to have that end game perk just to delay the doors opening, and maybe confirm another stage or 2 in the end game potentially. a fresh one that will meet the win condition as well. So that potentially could come back to bite the survivors in the end as we confirm that second stage on top rats. And here it comes, probably going to get this corrupt purge. Yeah, that's exactly right, gonna get that corrupt purge, you know, in case someone rotates a little bit too early, can get that down immediately. But I think we see the survivors very intent on just working on these generators. Yeah, that's exactly what we see.
They have to get as many generators as done as possible, and this Plague knows that if she just kills this survivor right on hook, we've got rats, he's dying, and if we get another hook late stage, we confirm that death. That does mean that Calamity will be taking this set as well, and 9 Owls is probably feeling the heat, because if they lose this set, that means they are knocked out of the winter circuit, they are done. So Calamity doing this very, very smart. They also seem to have a very perfect build for just this scenario as well, because No Way Out buys time in endgame, so buying time for him to find another hook and camp them to death as well, because we just need 6 stages. Doesn't matter how many freshes, if we just get one more stage than what Night Owls was able to get last game. This Plague knows that they're probably... Ooh, we do find another survivor right here. Rats is dead on hook. 2 generators left, although we know that they had quite a bit of progress because they chose to just let him sit. And now we are hot on the trail of another survivor. Another generator is popping. It's fine. This Plague does not care. She's going to try to probably beeline for some corrupt purge, making her looping capabilities way stronger. We do still have so many filler pallets left on the map, though, because we were able to get that down pretty quickly while only using 1 pallet. The Plague is... Oh, I think that was the generator with a lot of progress as well. She kicks it, trying to regress it just a little bit. She's trying to go for this Claudette now here, who is probably caught out. We have Shack Pallet, but is it enough? Oh, we're looping just a little bit more. We have Lithe
Value!
We're gonna try to outplay this Claudette at Shack. She's just gonna choose to leave, although Marco is choosing to leave as well. We're gonna try to find somebody out as well. They're trying to play so slow because they have to. They can't let another survivor die on hook. Nancy juking out the puke, but there's no filler pallet here, meaning she probably is going to go down. There we have it.
Yeah, that's gonna be it right there. Going to end up going down Urushi. Obviously, that's another stage, another fresh hook. That was a really interesting spot to kind of be at right there, just because, yeah, there's the pain res. And man, that gen, those pain reses hurt so much more at 1 gen than they do at 5, it feels like, just because it's like you're so close to just getting that objective done, and you know, it's just snatched from right underneath you. But immediate unhook, okay, we love the aggression here. I'm down for it. I'm NA. I love being aggressive. Okay, this is great.
We are choosing not to go for the tunnel out though, because we do know that Ace right here is another Scourge hook. Pain Resonance just delaying the end here. We have Nancy who's hovering, possibly trying to go for a pallet save, flashlight save, firecracker save. We don't know. We have Agitation. We are zooming on over to the hook, possibly getting it. Yeah, we're gonna get this hook before that generator pops. That's so unlucky. Is it gonna be so close? Yep, there it is. And it's so unfortunate that this generator is so close to the hook, too.
So close, yet so far away. We see that vault. You're going to have to just get away from here. And man, that gen is so close to being done. And this is why you see, yeah, you see the commitment right there. We love to see it, but going to end up getting chased off that gen. So this is a little bit of a situation where, you know, like you said earlier, you know, decided to go for the ace, knowing that the Scourge hook was incoming as well as, you know, getting a fresh, another fresh hook confirmed as well. So, you know, obviously we love to see that for sure. So going to end up going after right here. I mean, pick your poison, right? Do you wait out the 10 seconds or whatever it is, or, you know, do you go for the other person? And that's an adrenaline play! Oh, no!
Just gets up in a comical style. Right now, ooh, the survivors are finding out that we do still have 3 stacks of No Way Out. Will this ace be able to juice them for the entire time? Because right at this exact second, oh, we're going down underneath the pallet. At this exact second, we have our tie condition met. If no other hook states come through on this game, then that means that the set is tied in a possible replay. But, oh, we have to throw the pallet that Ace was under. Do we have a way to save him with a flashlight or firecracker? We have Claudette here! Did she get the firecracker save? No, she does not! And he doesn't have decisive strike, and he's going right up on hook. There it is. That is confirmed that Calamity will be taking this second set.
Yeah, man, that was just a way that was a way to do it for sure. I mean, that is just you know, it was like you said, it kind of really just depends on the layout of the map as well. That can kind of affect you. Obviously, that early kill on the rats, unfortunately, not able to. The survivor's not able to get that that value off of just pushing gens, just because eventually we did see all the scourge hooks as well, so that made it that much more difficult in order to just get to get that last gen done. I mean, we saw that last gen being pain risk 2 or 3 times, so that was rather unfortunate. But we are gonna get this down potentially onto the Claudette. A little bit of a light. Oh my god, that's actually such a good combo, but unfortunately the play is just gonna catch up right there. Is that gonna be the down? Gonna stall out just a little bit? Yeah, and I think that might be I'm not sure how long the timer's been up for. Yeah, there's the gate opening right now.
Unfortunately, it doesn't really matter what happens in the rest of this game. We're just kind of playing it out, having fun. This Nancy knows she's gonna take some body block hits, take several hits. I wiggle out, I promise. I think the Claudette here is she's our last fresh hook, meaning that we will be rewarded with 3 more stages. But we already have met the win con. These survivors most likely just going to take their outs because they will be moving on. This set is going to Calamity. They are staying in the winter circuit. This is a semi, so they will be moving on to the finals. Unfortunately, that means that Night Owls will be knocked out. But thank you so much for joining us, Night Owls. We've enjoyed it.
Yeah, actually, just a little bit of a plot twist. This is so the cool thing about Winter Circuit. A lot of tournaments can be, can be single elimination. The cool thing is that this is double elimination, so we actually do get to see.
That's right.
Yeah, we get to see a little bit more of them in losers bracket next week, if I'm not mistaken. That's why we see, Ariando still in the tournament, even though they were knocked down round 1. So like losers bracket can be really scary. Obviously, you can make the run all the way to grands from losers side of things as well. So that's going to be one that will be really we'll see those losers runs potentially for sure. But like you said, that is going to be the drop into losers bracket winners life. Calamity definitely well earned, well deserved. Going to end up being, facing the winner of the next set that we're going to get a little bit later between Elysium and X9. So that one's going to be really crazy. I mean, on this side of things, the fact that we saw, everyone pretty much had Ariando, confirmed on this side of winners bracket going all the way to grands. Unfortunately, we did see them go down. We did see the upset round 1, week 1, if I'm not mistaken, day 1 as well. But regardless, when that happens, obviously, these other teams, they smell a chance to make the run, guaranteed top 3, getting into winners finals. So that's honestly really nice to see for sure. But yeah, we will see a little bit more of Night Owls in losers bracket. We've seen some crazy plays from them as well. We've seen some great gameplay, so it's gonna be pretty nice to see for sure.